Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on another episode of The Genuine Guys. You have me, Zaida, along with me as always is Kumar
What's up, guys?
and Adrian.
What's up, everyone?
And then today's drink of the day, y'all, is truly hard seltzer with the blackberry cherry lemonade. So before we get into this whole thing, as always, how you guys been?
Like,
Can't complain. Another busy week of work, emails. Had an interview this week. Talked to you guys about it earlier. A little nerve-wracking, but otherwise, just business as usual.
Nice. How about you, Adrian?
I've just been busy helping at my church with their broadcasting setup. I've been designing graphics for the lower thirds for the broadcast, as well as like just doing a whole bunch of AV work, just trying to see what's the optimal way of shooting and the optimal way of getting good audio, lighting. It's just a whole bunch of production is going on. And aside from that, I'm also tutoring my niece, and it's been pretty interesting. So,
Has it been hard? Like, has she given you any trouble, I guess?
um, no, she's been actually picking up the material really well. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Nice. And how about for the church? I mean, you said you were working with it. How did everything go? Like
Yeah,
with the setup?
everything's going well. Like we got a lot of feedback from the parishioners, and they're very like, wow, how did you guys do this and that? How did we get how did our production go up so much? And it's just the feedback has been very positive. Like they're very thankful for the work that we're doing over there. And yeah, I definitely enjoy doing it. So it's fun.
That's good. Adrian's accepting the donations, guys. So if you're from his church, please donate. All right. They'll keep the stream good quality for all you. No. So as for me, as you could see, you could actually see me now. I actually got a light so that it shines on me instead of me just being a black face, I guess. I don't know, a dark shadow.
Shadowy figure in the night.
Yep. So so we've recently heard, you guys know, some states are reopening, some states like ours has pushed shelter in place back until the end of May, which I think will keep extending because it doesn't seem, even though we're going down with the cases, it's
At least till June, I see is being closed at the minimum.
yeah. So, but yeah, let's talk about that. What do you guys think about the whole, some states opening, some states staying closed, I guess, still in shelter in place, and then also um, protesters, I guess. We could talk about that too. I mean, this is big because
Ooh, loaded.
I mean, yeah, that's what kind of, I guess pushed some states to be open, I want to say. I don't know, but yeah, everyone's getting antsy, I guess. Well,
Right.
not
I don't personally. I don't think it's a good idea. Our numbers are going down because we're staying at home, because we're closed. As we open up, it just takes that one person who doesn't know they're contagious, who doesn't know they have it, and we're back at ground zero. Everyone's getting it. It's getting passed because we're getting to the routine of things, and everyone's going to feel comfortable, and they're going to start getting closer and closer. That 6 feet distance is going to fall shorter and shorter the more people feel comfortable. It's going to, again, take that one person, and we'll all be back in the stage. So better to stay closed a little bit longer, kind of let it go to bed, and then I want to say increase social distancing when we do start going back to work, going back out,
hmm I understand what you mean. I completely agree with you. Most of these, I guess, most of the states I want to reopen have reopened, and it's kind of scary. Mainly, like if you live there,
Right.
Um, people already. I've watched like streams as always, like on Twitch, and people who stream would say like it's kind of scary living out here now that things are open and back to normal, I guess, in a way. But then, even if things do go back to normal, how do you know you're not gonna get it?
It's
And
not
this
going to
is
come back around.
yeah, and it's always gonna who's gonna affect more, the hospitals and healthcare workers, right? So we're mainly doing this to try keep hospitals at a lower patient capacity, right?
To
So
kind of
like,
keep it operating as normal, so there's no large influx. I agree.
yeah. So I mean, if we're just gonna flood them or bombard them with more patients, it's just gonna get out of control. I mean, people was taking pictures, like nurses have shared pictures through their social medias and whatnot, and you've seen like body bags and stuff, right? So it's pretty scary if
And
we see more of that.
right, and we're getting numbers late too, so it might look like it's slowing down, but there might be a spike that we missed because it just hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah.
I think,
On that, go ahead, Adrian.
I think we have to go by the states. I think California is doing the best in terms of the whole country as far as lockdown and keeping our, I guess, helping with the curve go low, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really checked the statistics, but it just feels like California is always the state that's kind of an example for the rest of the states. Like
Sets a precedent.
we set the precedent, and I think I'm pretty sure we've lowered the curve in California. Now, of course, there's other states in the East Coast. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been following Michigan, but there's people who are protesting, and they're doing like they're bringing out their guns. It sounds like they're trying to be like their own militia for some strange reason, just because they're protesting the lockdown. So, those type of states are just, I don't know. They need some stronger control or something. But California, I feel although this past weekend, something about Long Beach, there was a lot of people who flood the beaches over the weekend.
Yeah.
I think California is doing a good job. I also think we need to quarantine ourselves as a state and prevent other people from out of state coming into our state. Like if you're from Michigan, if you're from Miami, Florida, or the East Coast, or you're trying to come into California, I think we have to set some protocols as a state to, just I think I heard something about if you try to go Hawaii, you're quarantined for like 2 weeks or something like that. I'm not too sure if that's true.
So when you go and come back, you got to stay home for 14 days, literally 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think as a state, if we're trying to just get better overall, like we want to take care of our state, then people that are out of state need to be quarantined.
No, that's true. I mean, that's what it's all about, is just being quarantined for now, trying to stay away as many people that you don't necessarily come around with. Even with work, even when you're there with them, you're supposed to still stay quarantined. And with the whole mandatory mask thing too coming in, while you're inside businesses, while you're going out, you have to wear a mask now. And like everything keeps changing. So
Right.
it's kind of difficult to see like how states are opening up at this moment,
And I feel like people have also gotten antsy and frustrated, and that even in lockdown states are coming out, because I went into the office on, what was it, Thursday or Tuesday or Thursday? And I went in my flip-flops. I would never, ever go to work in flip-flops,
Nice.
basketball shorts, and just a tank top. Like, what the hell, right? And I walk in, and the first person I see is a director, and I'm a director of a different department. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I look so unprofessional right now. And I was like, oh, it's whatever. It's just one person. As I'm going up, I'm like, oh shit, there's two people there. I get into my office and I'm hearing a lot of voices. I'm like, wait, what? I came to like print some stuff out and shred some stuff so I could go home and process more work.
Yeah.
And I was like, people are like, they don't understand we're still in lockdown, but so it's so close to that May 3rd. Was it May 3rd? We were supposed to go back to work, correct? We're so close to it that people are like just getting back to it. And I'm like, but didn't it get extended?
Yeah.
So even in states like California, people are going to work. Like I guess they're fed up with it. And they're like, we're over it. It's gone. Let's get back to life as normal. And that's a scary thought.
I think there's an unspoken culture that is being created because of this. We're expected to stay home, but inside our if we're not at peace, then our sanity is like, no, I need to go out and go to work. And I think it's an unspoken thing where people are just starting to like just go to work, even though we're breaking it's not really a law, right? We're breaking the order, but like you said, like people are showing up at your office, and I think it's just an unspoken thing in the mind where it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna be the only one here anyways. But then maybe a lot of other people are thinking the same way, and then we're just not gonna talk about it because we're not supposed to be doing this anyways. It's more of like an unspoken thing.
I agree. And honestly, the moment I realized, I was like, there's still people coming in. I was like, shred quickly, shed, and let's get out of here, because again, it takes that one. So it kind of boosted me into high gear at the same time.
Yeah.
But I went in with that exact thought, like, ain't no one gonna be in the office but me. I can stroll in, do what I need to do, and come out. No.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah, right. Everybody had the same idea.
Well, I mean, at least you got to tell that story, right? It's a story now.
Right. And then with that, like, I had people approaching me, and I'm like, yo, 6 feet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, well, step off real quick.
I don't even know if my coworker showed up wearing a tank top, I'd be like, whoa, bro, you keep your distance, You're probably like working out. I mean, I don't care if you're working, you're wearing a tank top, but nowadays, because of what's going on, it's like, oh, I don't want your sweat on me or something like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then I was standing by the printer, and he's like, hey, can you pass me some of the printer paper? No, I can't pass you nothing. Go get it.
I could just
see that.
Very responsible.
I could just see both of you guys playing that ludicrous song. Get back. You don't know me like.
Oh man, yeah, it was uncomfortable. I've never felt so uncomfortable around people. But at the same time, I'm at home going, bro, I need to get out the house.
Yeah.
I need people, but then when I see it, I'm like, yo, wait.
Wait a minute. Mentality is different.
Right. Hey, I was thinking about it, but I decided, nah, get away from me.
Yeah. It's understandable. Like, everyone still wants to go out, right? And it's like going crazy, like when you're stuck at home, I guess, just inside. So, but yeah. Sorry, cut you off, Adrian. What were you gonna say?
I mean, yeah, I also think like, we have to start somewhere, right? We have to boost up our economy. And I know that the best thing right now is to stay on lockdown, but we have to start somewhere, and we'll see what happens with those other states that are really doing it. I hope for the best for them, but it's also scary because sometimes people on my FB feed will post things about a second wave hit Japan or in China, and of course I don't want that to happen here, but that's something that we need to be prepared for. But at the same time, we also we have to open, or we have to slowly open, because there's no vaccine. So we need to generate income, and that is through work, and some companies just can't survive an economy where it has to live off of like digital things. They have to use the more physical way of doing work or something like that, whatever their business are, to survive. So that's what I have to say about that.
Oh, that's true. Go ahead. Sorry.
So another thing is, there's a new show that came out on Netflix. I think it was called Explain It. I think it's just called Coronavirus or COVID-19. I can't remember.
Explain Coronavirus.
Yeah. So in there, it's talking about a pandemic similar to the corona. It was the flu pandemic that hit in 1918. And it talks about how Philadelphia and St. Louis kind of treated it. Philadelphia closed early and they stayed closed for a while. St. Louis closed late. So what it showed was there was a gradual line for, I might be getting it mixed up, but there was a gradual line for one, and there was like a quick spike for one and an immediate drop for the other. And I believe it was St. Louis that stayed closed. So that line literally kept descending till there was nothing. But Philadelphia had that steady line. It flatlined. It started going down. And then they opened, and it kind of shot back up and saw influx. So again, it's possible. It's just going to take that one person. So history is doomed to repeat itself. So if we start opening up too soon, we might be Philadelphia.
It's crazy because the criticisms right now from like, you know, the intellectuals are all saying, we already saw it in history. All we got to do is stay closed. That's all we got to do. But it's actually a lot easier to say that than to be like in the real situation, because it just comes down to humanity and I think just psychology. And it's not, all we have to do is just stay home and that's it. It's easy to say that, but it's actually really tough when you're in the actual situation.
Yeah, just imagine like instead if you're just living at home by yourself, like what are you gonna do for hours and hours on a day, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you do have, I guess, technology now to connect you to people like this through Zoom, but you know, that could only last for what, an hour or however long your friends or family are willing to stay on, right?
Yeah.
So just things could like make people go insane, I guess. So I mean, you want to say it's as easy as this, but it's not as easy as that. There's a whole lot of different factors. I don't know if you guys saw this. I think I shared this with you guys last night. There's like these top 10 paranormal activities in for swimming, I guess, like places
I saw
known,
that.
like I guess one of it was like Base Lake or something like that. I forgot.
I was scared to click the article for some strange
reason. You know what? I the moment I saw it, I immediately opened it out, but I was expecting it to be something like the spot in Santa Cruz, where like the building might just be built a little different. But then I started reading the articles. I was like, wait, this is talking about going to a lake and a child getting possessed. Going in.
That was like Base Lake, yeah.
Base Lake. And then there's like a swimming hole in San Diego where it feels like the water's hissing and a girl swore that she got a burn mark and it was like
death,
right? It's a death. And she was like, it's a premonition, like, what do you call it? A foreshadowing or a premonition. Like, if you keep coming here, this is what's going to happen. It's like, oh, dang. I personally don't believe in it. And the reason I tell you that is
non-believer.
I've never seen it. And bro, I love horror movies. I mean, I love scary movies with ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. Like, and I've even gone ghost hunting with some friends. And
no, Kumar, your door is opening right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I haven't, like, I've never felt like, again, I've gone ghost hunting, but every now and then, I'm not going to lie, I feel like someone's watching me, and I'm like, someone's got a telescope, and they're standing up there, and they're watching my fat ass right now.
That's what your mind is thinking, instead of like, oh, there's some paranormal thing here watching me, right?
And so I'm like, but then I'm always looking over my shoulder going, who the fuck's behind me? Is like my dog calling me? Like, psychically, like, what's going on here? But again, I don't believe in it, but I do get a feeling that sometimes I'm being watched, but my brain does not go to the paranormal.
Okay. How about you, Adrian?
I believe in the paranormal, but I don't try to do anything that, like,
you don't seek it out.
I don't try to open those doors. Like, I really feel like it's something that it does exist. It's some sort of, I don't know, spirituality type of energy or something that exists.
But it won't look for you if you don't go looking for it.
It's one of those like Pandora's box. I feel like once you open it, you're kind of like exposed to some sort of knowledge that maybe is forbidden or something. I don't know. I mean, have I had any experiences in terms of like supernatural stuff? No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
or did you repress it?
My favorite sites was when I was a little kid, I would check out this website called theshadowlands.net, and it was all about cryptozoology and supernatural, UFOs, the Men in Black, all that stuff.
What was it? Theshadowlands.net?
Theshadowlands.net. This is a classic 90s design website. I'm not sure.
Oh my god, it's still up.
Yeah,
but has it been updated?
No, it's like a page at a time, man.
Okay.
It's so like back then we would have been like, oh damn, this is got so many colors. It looks so high tech, and now I'm like, man, that picture is so pixelated. Like obviously can't be real. And there's like this man used like 4 colors,
Well, you
5,
know,
6.
hold on. Going back to the article that Zaida
Yeah.
posted, though, like one of them said something about it was a Native American land or something, and I do believe that Native Americans are, I don't know,
Roman the Americas.
they what?
Like
They're
their
roaming the
spirits, like
Americas.
I don't. They've done something to the ground or something because they believe in like the earth and the ground and just respecting it. That if you build over it, like let's say it is a spiritual type of setting, I think you are desecrating in some sort of way that might attract some sort of energy or something. That
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think there's some in either Tracy or Livermore. So like, you know how when they first started construction up there with all those houses and stuff, I've heard stories of people who bought those houses that were like, oh, I've been experiencing some things that are unexplainable. I'm not gonna say it's paranormal, but they just can't explain it,
yeah,
right? So um I'm not going to dive deep into that just because it's not my story, but
yeah.
I just want to say, but then, they found out it was built on Indian, like, forgot what's the name of it.
Land,
It's
Indian
not
burial
just,
grounds.
yeah, Indian burial grounds. There it goes. Yeah. So,
Do people still live up there?
I mean, you see all those houses now. So,
So
of course you.
I'm just saying, if it really would have happened, do you think people will people wouldn't be able to tolerate it, and eventually, like it'd be a genuine hotspot, and people would be like, "Oh, it's haunted."
All right.
No one would want to live there, right?
Here's the thing, though. You put all your money into investing into this house. Where are you gonna go? Be homeless?
Yeah.
Like,
That is true. Those like you got a new job. You're like, I'm about to buy this new house. I
But
bought a
okay,
new house. I got this contract going.
living in capitalist America, don't you think if someone found an actual haunted house, they would be capitalizing it on it right now, saying, "Hey, I'd like the Winchester house is so fakely haunted." Like, and they're making money. If you had a real haunted house, don't you think you'd be capitalizing? I would. I'd be like, yo, my house is really haunted. I got a business set up there. Let's go.
not necessarily, because some people don't want to experience that,
Yeah.
like most people don't want to experience that. Like, you're gonna get so few people that go, to
That's
these real
true.
houses. And
Oh
then,
no, man!
like,
But there's
if
so
it
many
brings
people.
back things too, you're not gonna want to do that.
They're gonna be like, I'm gonna sue you because this thing is like following me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like really following, like it was really hard. I see. I'm exact opposite. I feel like there are so many people who are thrill seekers who would go, and just so many non-believers who would go to say, "Hey, look, it's not real. Go there and be proven wrong." That if someone had it, like again in this, go back 50, 60 years, no, because people would be like, "Oh, ghosts, you crazy man, ghosts aren't real." But now people be like, "Hey, bro, I got ghosts. Come see it." Like I can't fathom people not trying to capitalize. Like America capitalizes on everything.
I mean, people used to believe each others were witches, right? So, and they burned people on the cross or on the stake, right? So everything changes, I guess, in a way. But to get to my point, I do believe in the paranormal stuff. I do have a story of my own.
I want to hear it.
I've heard I've heard multiple instances. I have relatives and friends that are very adept to seeing or feeling paranormal stuff, and I wouldn't want to deal with that. So I guess I'll go into my story. It was back when I was, let's say, 6 years old. Back when I lived in Oakland. So I don't know if you know, like, Mackenzie Elementary School. I think it was called Mackenzie.
Where in Oakland did you live? I can't.
In I don't
West
know.
Oakland.
My Kumar, you know.
I
Well, I
don't
live in the
know.
Deep East, so unless he's from the Deep East.
Oh,
I don't even know how to explain it. It's been that long. Like, I know if I see it because I've drove by it once when we
And
were
you
in Oakland
recognize
going.
it?
Yeah, so it's like I want to say it's you know where Kent lives? Like
Okay,
close to there.
that's east. That's the east. That's
Oh,
upper
okay.
east.
Okay. So yeah. So I guess East Oakland. Shout out to East Oakland. No, I was kidding.
I
No.
had no clue you lived in Oakland, so I'm like, what?
But that was like just, from for like 3 years, I believe. So
Well, I came to Oakland in the 6th grade, and I never left.
yeah, see, sometimes that's the way it is. But that house in Oakland, uh, so I remember one night I was sleeping in the bed, and for some strange reason I decided to like sit up, and so like pretend, this is the bed, right? I just sit up and I look to my right, right? And then the door is that way. And
Yeah.
I look and there's like this shadowy figure. So naturally thinking it looks like an older man. So I was like,
Oh my
Dad,
gosh.
right? So I say dad in Vietnamese because I was like, why the fuck is he just standing there? Like, Dad, what's up, right? And then it just stands there, and I'm like, oh,
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
I'm gonna lay back down. Right? Like being a kid, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, I'm a fucking,
So now, being an
go to.
adult, and you see that, what do you think? What does your mind jump to?
I think it's a person at first. I'm gonna get up and like, what the hell is this person doing in my house, right? So I'm gonna think robbery before anything, and then, but it also depends on what the person looks like.
So
I'm not gonna.
I had a similar experience to yours. Mine's on the like, I feel like yours is creepy as hell. Like, so you see a
Oh my
shadowy figure. My brain doesn't go to it's a ghost, it's Dad. I'll be like, what is a man doing in my room?
Right.
Like,
So
I want to say when I first moved to Oakland. Nah, man, it wasn't even first. I think I was like a freshman in high school, and I came home one day, and it was after football practice. Came home, knocked out, and in the middle of the night, I see like a figure right next to my window. Fucking, I jump up and swing at it, and I'm like, oh crap! And I yelled before I swung at it. It ended up being my jacket. I was like,
Oh my
bro. I was like, I thought
God.
somebody. And my mom came, she's like, why are you yelling? I was like, I thought someone broke in to the window, and it was my jacket. I'm so like, oh damn.
why did you leave your jacket there?
So in my room behind my back then, I hung all my jackets behind the door, and this one I just happened to leave on the hanger and just hang. And I think there was something above it or something hanging above it that made it look like a head.
Yeah.
So I saw shoulders and a round figure, and it was like, so here's the back of my door, or here's my door, and this is like the back part that the door opens up on, and I would hang the jackets there, and right next to it's the window. So with the window from the light coming in through the curtain from the street lights, it looked like a shadowy figure creeping through the windows. I was just like, ah, who this?
Oh my gosh.
Bro, and my mom was like, you didn't think it was a ghost? You thought it was. I was like, we live in Oakland. My brain doesn't go to ghosts. My brain goes to who breaking in my house. But I still every time I think about that, I'm like, fuck, that shit was so funny. But yours was the exact opposite. Like, I'd be like, if there was a shadowy figure,
Yeah.
my natural instinct would be to get up and touch it. And if my hands went through, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I guess.
Nah, man, I would have probably been taken away. That's why I was like, because like when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of like Asian movies with my mom.
Yeah.
And like there'll be a lot of like spiritual things. So like a lot of, like those zombies that just like hop up and down type of thing, and then like just ghosts, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh hell no.
So go ahead.
No.
Question.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're still here? If you believe in that stuff.
For me, I feel like it could be many reasons. Like either they're a restless soul that just can't move on. They feel like, there's nothing on the other side, or they've done something so horribly wrong that they have to stay trapped where they're at.
Is that your personal belief, or is that you think a miracle, a media and movie related ideal or idea that's been placed there? Inception.
I mean, I feel like I believe in that. just because I know, like, for me, I guess, like, Buddhist standpoints is there's no heaven. There's just like another world, I guess you go to,
A
which is
higher platform.
kind of hell, and then you get reincarnated, right? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, uh, I feel that way. I feel like if, well, first, with my personal belief with death is kind of sad in a way because I don't believe in a heaven or a hell. I believe you just are gone.
I'm right there
Yeah.
with you because people who have died and come back, they can't remember. And I feel like some of the people who do remember, they just like everyone's experience can't be the same. Why does everybody see the light at the tunnel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one ever says, "Yeah, I was fucking in hell." Like they
Yeah.
were about to fillet me. No, like I feel like everyone wants, like they come back and they're like, "This is what I felt because I have to believe that because otherwise, after I pass, there's nothing." And I think people are more afraid of nothing than something.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll dive deeper into that in another podcast because that's we could go really grim with that one.
Right,
So,
right.
Wait, hold on. Going back to that feeling where you guys say like you can, it feels like someone is watching you. You know what I'm saying, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay, do you ever get this feeling? I'm gonna reverse it now. Where let's say a loved one is in pain, do you feel that?
Like, actually,
Like
the
in close
actual,
Like
proximity and I could
like
see them, or
like
like someone at a distance.
you could sense like something's wrong with a loved one. Like I could tell this person's going through sadness, or maybe for some strange reason I could feel their anxiety, or I could feel like their pain or something. I don't know.
so for me, I don't, but normally I always tend to like check on people anyways, even if it's just a quick, like, hey, how are you doing? You okay?
Mhm.
I think like I don't feel that since I reach out already in general, right? So,
I feel that sometimes, but it's more because their mannerisms or their personality, something is changed. And I'm like, something isn't right with this person. It's not like I just immediately know, like I haven't talked to this person in a while and I go, oh, this person's not feeling good. It'll be a slight change in personality. Like they're not as talkative. Like
yeah.
if I was hanging out with you guys and we went to a bar and I just sat there all
Yeah.
night
Yeah, I
and
would be
didn't
like, what's
open my
wrong?
mouth, you guys would immediately know,
Be
like, there's
like,
something
this
wrong with
isn't Kumar.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel there's like this little tells that I pick up on, and I'm like, oh, what's going? Like, are you okay? Something going? But I can't just know out of the blue. There is got to be a tell for me to tell.
No, I
But
mean,
I feel like some people just have intuition. Will be like, oh, you need a hug. And I feel like that's more women than men. Because I never go and I walk up to. Like, can you imagine a guy like, bro, I think you need a hug. And if you
I
walk
don't
up
know,
to that to a
man.
female, they'll be like, yo, gross, bro. Like, step back. You know what I
hey, well,
mean?
Yeah,
hold on. I mean, I actually get those vibes sometimes. I could sense like sometimes I feel like a person's energy,
yeah,
and I also will qualify what you say, Kumar, that you when like their mannerisms or their language, their choice of words, I'll be like, oh, something's wrong with them. I could tell.
The tone of voice, everything. There's something that just comes off, and you're like, oh damn.
I definitely feel that way, and I also feel some sort of energy level from someone if I feel like, okay, this person is something is going on with them. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it reminds me of that whole, oh yeah, I got eyes watching me from somewhere and I don't know where
yeah.
it is. But the fact that I feel it is what's telling me like there's some sort of invincible energy or some sort of presence that is there, and I don't know why I'm sensing it or something like that.
It's that the metaphorical dark cloud. You can sense it.
And I'm not trying to say I got superpowers or anything like that.
Right. I'm just saying, yes.
I think for me personally, because I feel like I'm more like spiritual. I think I'm just I don't know. I think it's just another way of just being open or something like that.
Now, do you like act on it when you feel it? Like,
I wait for the tell, like to confirm it, like maybe the
So,
language.
but then you wait for the tell. Could it be subconsciously that you already noticed the tell? Now that you want to confirm the tell, so you're like, oh, something feels off but let me see if they do it so I can confirm
Well, I'm
that
not
this
gonna
is
egg
off.
them on like, hey, what's bothering you?
yeah.
Come
Well,
on,
see,
Because that would just be weird.
I might
I
wait
would
for
be like, what
something.
the?
And then like there is also like, yeah, oh, okay, I was off. Okay, I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Like,
Then at
but
the same time, I'm not trying to like boost my ego to be like, oh, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew this person was like this. And then I'm gonna relate it to another person. I'm not gonna do that.
but like, remember I told you guys this. I do get the feeling sometimes, like when I was in college, I met two really good friends of mine. And I was like, man, they need a friend. No one's in class talking to them.
Right?
They're just sitting there.
But that's what you
Like,
always do.
right, and it's because I'm a talkative person.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
does that count for what you're trying to ask? Like,
Well,
because I could tell they're not necessarily in pain or feeling some type of way.
yeah.
I mean, they might be lonely. They're not, but or they might feel like no, they don't feel like a part of the class. You know, so like I can tell that, and I reach out to them. Is that what you're trying to get at?
I think I pitched it more in a way where it was like pain, but I would say joy is another way of feeling it. Like you're just like, okay, it's going the other end of the spectrum, and not necessarily like they're in pain, therefore I feel their pain. Let's say, oh, I feel their joy or I feel their happiness, therefore I feel their happiness and joy, and I can just sense it just because of who they are or something like that. So I just think because you feel that it's some sort of energy that is invincible energy that is created somehow. So that's why I'm just trying to say about the, oh, someone's watching me. I don't know who it is, but it's right there.
Yeah.
It's just trying to go beyond the physical is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
Yes, I've never felt that way, and the only reason I'm going to say that again is because when I get that feeling, I'll start looking out the curtains like, who looking at me? And I'll do that. I'll go to the front door, and I'll be like, who's peeking?
Yeah.
Like, did a light go on? What's going on?
I know. Yeah, I get that feeling too. Like, oh, going back to the whole like, if who's watching me? Like, I know when I was younger, I used to be very skeptical. Like, especially when I go home, I'm like, oh, is there anyone in here? Like, especially if I'm just the only one at home, right? Like, I do like a whole grounds check. I go through everyone's room, go through the bathroom, like check behind the curtains, everything in the
But you're not.
closets.
Are you okay? Are you checking,
Yeah, it's like-
are you checking for the boogeyman, or are you just
No,
seeing like
I'm just
is
checking
anyone
to
home?
see if there's anyone home, right? Like
But when
to
you
make
said
sure there's
behind the
no one in
curtains,
there.
what are
Yeah,
you checking for behind
yeah.
the curtains?
Well, I mean curtains as in like the bath
oh,
curtains, the shower curtains.
oh,
'Cause,
so you
yeah.
rather be a peeping family member, like who's in the
Well,
shower? I'm
it's
kidding. I'm
not
kidding.
going on, like
I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, like again, going back to the experience in Oakland, uh,
Crazy.
I did have one of those feelings, right? My dad actually left me at home one time to go pick up my mom because I went on a landscaping job with them,
Wow.
and then like they, my dad wanted to go home first to like prep food,
Mhm.
and then he was gonna go pick her up. So when he went to pick her up, he was like, "Okay, just stay home. I'll be back. It'll only be like 10, 15 minutes, right?" I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. I could watch TV." But
It was
then,
your 10 minutes of freedom from parents.
yeah, right. So I was just watching. I think I was watching Power Rangers, and then yeah, right. Lo and behold, but I was freaking. I I don't know. This like feeling over me just got me scared. Like I was scared for my life, and I actually got the phone and I dialed 911.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And what's crazy is the cops got there the same time my parents came back.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I was,
Hey,
and,
did your parents get in trouble for that?
no, they did. They did.
How old were you?
I was like 6, 7.
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty young. But my
I know,
parents did
right?
the same thing.
See? Exactly. But, I knew not to do anything, but it was just like this feeling. This was before like that
Yeah.
experience with the shadowy figure. So after that, when I experienced that shadowy figure, I was like, all right, this fucking house is like
I don't
scary.
want no part of it. Please leave me alone, mom, dad. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, right. But so I never told like my family that like I experienced that until I was like think in middle school or high school, and I talked to one of my sisters about it, and she was like, "You experienced something too?" And I was like,
Oh.
Oh, and then you go two.
and it was in the same room that I was sleeping at. And then she was like, "Yeah, like I had an experience in that room too." I guess she was saying she was like grabbing clothes from the drawers, and then in the handle there's like a gold reflection. And the reflection, she also said she saw a black shadowy figure.
Oh.
And I was like, all right,
I gotta
fuck
go.
that house. Like, but that has been
That's
my
crazy.
experience, and I'm pretty happy for that. But my cousins, they've had more heightened experience, like that Base Lake. They said, or not they said, they went there for camping one time, and it says it only affects children, right? So,
Yeah.
oh, one of their sons, like I guess, saw something. This was at nighttime, and he was crying uncontrollably. Like people didn't know, like they didn't know what was scaring him, right? So he was just crying and scared, and like they were just telling him, like, don't look out there, like don't look into the
Yeah.
darkness, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't know what it is that could invite stuff or whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I will say this, that like my parents, they tell me they've experienced so much paranormal activity, specifically ghosts. And when I was a little kid and they used to tell me these stories, like I'd be on my edge. I'd be so intrigued. And then when they tell me like what their experience was, like the little hairs in the back of my neck as a kid would go up, like I'm so jealous you got to experience a hair raising moment. Like I've gone ghost hunting. I've gone to graveyards. I went to New Orleans and did the haunted graveyard tour. So the way it starts off, you pay the 120. I was like, man, but it's like, oh, you get this tour, you get this tour, whatever. I paid the 120, and then they pick you up in front of this cemetery. It's a graveyard, but so because of floods in New Orleans, they don't bury the bodies underground.
yeah, it's
They have what do
ground
they call
level.
it? Tombs or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But everything is buried on top because you don't want that water bringing it back up. And I learned this on the tour, so I was like, cool, educational experience.
Nice.
But they meet you at the front. They walk you through it. They take you through some like at night, some of those angels and the figures, they look really daunting. And they're like, holy shit, are you really this big? Are you this big in the moon's light, not in the sunlight? And at the end of the tour, they let you walk back by yourself. So the tour guides go one way, and everyone parks, not where the tour ended, where the tour started. So you have to go back to like this 20, 25 minute
cemetery.
Like that's the distance to walk, right? And it's not that much. And the tour takes like an hour because even though like you can walk 25, 20 minutes one way, they show you like famous people from New Orleans, royalty that was buried there. Like they go through everything. So then I was like, man, whatever, I could walk back. And like a little piece of me kept saying, you're going to feel it. It's going to be tonight's the night. You're going to see something. And I didn't. I was so heartbroken. And then I had a friend who did it like a year later. He's like, bro, that shit, it tore me up. Like I had so much anxiety. He's like, I could hear things. And I was like, is it because you were afraid of it that you were feeling it? Like you're heightened.
Yeah.
Like everything, like you were feeling this way. Because I was excited and I was like disappointed at the end. Like I should have seen something. It's just weird for me, I guess. But I've always wanted that hair-raising experience.
Well,
I also
skeptical.
Oh, sorry.
Did you say it's unethical?
No, I said you're the skeptic. I like it.
But I want to experience, like, I want to believe it. Just I need solid proof.
I think you have like a certain personality or some sort of thing that kind of wards you from those types of stuff.
Right?
They're like, this guy's too happy. He won't even believe if he sees me.
I think you're too like. It's either you're missing the signs or you're really like stoic that.
Or you make everything like too logical, I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I want to experience it. I want to. If it's out there, please come find me.
I mean, it just sounds silly to me that you saw a hood or whatever, and then you went up and you punched it.
Because I thought
but for like me, I would be like, holy crap, I'm putting the blanket over my head or I'm getting out of my room.
I'll be like screaming. I'll be like, fuck this, who the fuck are you?
That's what I did. I was like, hey. I was like, what? I screamed. I was like, hey, like, but my natural reaction was because I'm like, hey, I don't know, it's a murderer. It could be.
That's true.
I'm like, I'm a freshman in high school. What if it's a pedophile? I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, shit. It's
They're like, I want your booty, Kumar.
Hey, You never know. So I was just like, damn, man.
So I mean, final thoughts on that for me is like, I feel like some people experience it, Kumar. Like, I know you don't. I also know some people who don't experience it, and it's not like they're trying to seek it out or anything, but
Yeah.
they're around people that has experienced stuff, but then they don't see it or they don't feel it. So I mean,
So they
again,
I might be used to it.
yeah, exactly. So that's it for this podcast, guys. Thanks for joining in. As always, I'm Zaida, Kumar, Adrian.
Thanks.
Have a good week and stay fresh.